Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily Hindu editorial analysis video. And in the morning these videos come, in the evening the PIB analysis videos they come, and they all come both in Hindi and English language. And today is 16th of February, Saturday it is, so very less data today is there. And we would start with a motivation: be brave even if you are not, pretend to be. No one can tell the difference. It's a simple sentence, but there is a hidden meaning inside it. You see, bravery is shown on an incident, and bravery you show when you are fighting on the battlefield. And maybe that person is a coward, maybe that person is not brave today, but if that person pretend to be brave, then other soldiers, then other people, when they look at him, they are also inspired, because they cannot tell the difference if that person is brave or not. If that person who is not brave, if that person is taking steps which are taken by a brave person, then certainly that person would be a brave person. So the pretendance to be a brave person is also can work if you are a honest person, and if you can execute your effort to become brave. And it is also applied when you are preparing and when you are fighting every day with your own difficulties and you don't give up. And pretend to be brave is also a quality, means you are not giving up. Because you want to become brave and you are pretending to be brave, that means you are not giving up, and you will not cry, you will not look sad, and the energy should be there. So it's a very important sentence if one can understand that. It's a simple thing, and it's bizarre thing to say that pretendance is also good, but certainly it can work in this particular quality. And it's a consistent fight every day with your own lags, with your own difficulties, and these things, they pressurize you, but you don't give up. That's your bravery. And call on these numbers and ask for the pen drive courses by StudyIQ. These are video courses covering all the important parts of the static portion and other portions, and they are going to help you immensely. Every day I talk about them. Now the unfortunate incident, and which has provoked a lot of emotion among all of us, because for more than 44 soldiers, they have given their lives to the nation, and so cowardly this act was. It was done on highway, and 78 buses convoy was going on, and during this passing they hit this convoy with a IED filled SUV, improvised explosive device. Improvised explosive device means very in a very short span of time and very impromptu, they have devised this explosive particular material, and they blasted this within this particular convoy which was passing. And due to the bad weather and heavy snowfall, they were stuck in this path which was between Jammu and Srinagar. And you see, Banihal Pass, Jawahar Tunnel, all these areas are present on this particular highway, and this was totally choked. And because of this disturbance, this convoy was very huge and they were passing through it. Otherwise it's a common thing, they always move between Jammu to Srinagar and Srinagar to Leh as a common practice. So now many questions are left. You see, the security agencies, intelligence agencies, all are under a lot of pressure now. How this thing became possible for these people? Because it was so specific an attack where they had access, they had all the information about this convoy, that at this particular time they are going to move from here, and this much big this convoy would be, and they would be stuck at this particular milestone number 272. And how this thing was possible, and why this specific attack at this specific time, how they got access, and from where they got this much information about that. So that's why this is a failure of intelligence, this is a failure of security protocol, and this is a failure of overall management of the security of the CRPF soldiers. So now many questions, they need answer, and Pakistan also needs to answer this thing, that what Jaish-e-Mohammed leader Masood Azhar is doing on its land, and what they are up to, why he is moving freely, why Jaish-e-Mohammed is working and is supported like that from the state of Pakistan. And you see, as I told you, earlier also, this is the same person, this Masood Azhar is the same person whom we had to free in the Kandahar plane hijack incident, and for the cost of our civilians, our citizens, we had to free this dangerous terrorist. And this was specific force, CRPF, Central Reserve Police Force. You see, there are specific bodies like BSF, Border Security Force, and CRPF. So they are different from the main army. These are Reserve Police Force. So it's a huge issue, huge concern. Always these reserve and paramilitary forces, they are attacked, they are posted on these very sensitive and dangerous areas. So many questions are being raised by these families, and it's a state of mourn for whole India. And this incident has shaken the shaken everything in this nation. And the vocabulary, these words that I found, and try them in the sentences. Now the MCQs that I gave to you yesterday, how these, they are a group, rebel group, which are supported by Iran in the country of Yemen. The country is Yemen, so it is not given in the option. Lebanon has the group of Hezbollah, and Syria is a different country which has no connection with the Houthis. And Gaza Strip, here these Hamas group is active, and Hamas and Hezbollah, these both are working against the US and its moves. And in Yemen, these Houthis are fighting the Saudi Arab led armies, because it's a consistent crisis there, and this whole country is devastated. And Houthis are actually Shia groups supported by Iran. So D, none would be the correct answer here. Next, Sports Star Aces Lifetime Achievement Award was given to Prakash Padukone, and he was the badminton player. An important achievement he did in 1980. So D, none would be the correct answer here. And other people were not on the list of lifetime achievement. Lifetime achievement is a specific category. Asbab Bagawat Hind. This book was written not by any of these people. This was written by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, and regarding whom we talked yesterday when we were talking about the Aligarh Muslim University. So Anglo-Oriental College, that was established by him, and Asbab Bagawat Hind, that was written by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, and it was regarding the 1857 Indian rebellion. And you see, says Syed Ahmad Khan, he was with the Britishers at that time, and that thing was controversial, and he wrote this book after 1857 war. So that's why it is an important question. Now only one important editorial today in the newspaper. So it is regarding the India and Saudi Arabia relations. Apart from that, only one editorial is important, which is talking about the same situation of a Pulwama attack and the questions that remain. So we have discussed that, and the issue of most favored nation, that is now taken back from Pakistan. So that we are going to discuss in this particular article. So this is important for India's international national relations and the regional issues. So GS paper 2 would be important here, would be crucial here, and ground zero report is not important to us. So these are the only articles. Now, heralding a new dawn, India and Saudi Arabia, two aspiring nations. What is the condition of Saudi Arabia? It is under immense pressure from the international community because of the Jamal Khashoggi murder case and the Yemen crisis, where it has fueled all kinds of support in maintaining and aggravating this Yemen situation. And how these are fighting Saudi Arabia here. And you see, that's an indirect war, because all these allegations are there today, and a lot of changes are going on. So this article is talking about all positive things about Saudi Arabia and our relationship with Saudi Arabia, because it has been going through a lot of change, a lot of amount of economic change and political change, administrative changes, and there is a big reason for that, because it was the oil dependent economy, and everything that they earned for the last 4 or 5 decades, it was because of the crude oil selling. Now they are looking at the post oil age, because of the shale gas boom and because of the more dependency on natural gas and renewable energy and all these kind of measures which are talking about, and about this particular new environmental goals, and environmental friendly fuel should be there. So that's why this oil and this particular economy, they both are under immense stress, and for the last 4 5 years they have been keeping this price, international price, very low, and because of this their economy is affected a lot. So now they are looking at the post oil age, and that's why they are investing heavily in many sectors which are going to be crucial for their economy. And this particular Saudi Arabia in this post oil age is going to be very advanced, because they have enormous investment capacity. Okay, so $427 billion they are attracting as a private investment over next decade. That's a huge thing, $427 billion in the next decade, and they are going to diversify the economy, and 1.6 million new jobs they are proposing here. So we have to see how they are going to implement it, because the similar promises we have made in our country, and these things are really huge for Saudi Arabia. If somebody would go and watch Saudi Arabia, UAE, like countries, their cities, so they are like on a next level, and they are tourism hubs of this world, and they are playground for the rich and the powerful class of the world. All these celebrities and all, they own these places, houses, and these important malls, shops in the cities like Dubai, and country like Saudi Arabia, Riyadh and all. So this is going on as a project, that they are developing this tourism area, and many giga projects, as they are calling them. 3 giga projects are underway. One is smart city project, that is NEOM, and Qiddiya entertainment city project, and the Red Sea tourism hub. So these are biggest attraction in this area. If today we go and watch the condition of Dubai, then it's a different kind of a city, and you won't believe that in this world there is any kind of a trouble like poverty or something, because it's so huge a city, and so huge, so beautiful, and so managed a city, that it is clearly seen here, and it is evident that how much capacity these people have. And these sheikhs, they are planning big projects here, and they are based on tourism, they are based on new age technologies, science, education, everything. They have been hailed as the 4th largest reformer within the G20 group, where all these big nations are there. We are also a member of G20. So 4th largest reformer under this World Bank's Doing Business report of 2019. So it's huge, and they are starting 2 important platforms, Meras and FASA. They both are supporting the business, the investment, and the single window clearances. All these goals are there with these Meras platform and the FASA platform. So these are with Saudi Arabia. And it is the largest number of business reforms which are going on in this particular Middle East and North Africa region, MENA region, because it is north of Africa, and the Saudi Arabian Peninsula is here. So it is Middle East and North Africa, MENA region. So they may ask you what is the MENA region in the prelims examination, and what are these Meras and FASA, and what is this Doing Business report talks about. This is the report by World Bank. That's important. Okay, and you see, they are going to invest in the construction market as around $100 billion, and it is only till 2025. So huge this target. So ambitions are very high. Right now this investment is $45 billion in the construction sector. Now they are going to target $100 billion, and within 7 to 8 years. And foreign direct investment has risen by 127% from the previous year. So it's a huge investment, and all countries, all their business people, entrepreneurs, they are attracted to invest here. $100 billion they are planning to invest in transport sector, because everything is accessible, land, air and water, all are accessible to Saudi Arabia, and they are targeting these tourists, and mainly these Umrah, who are the Hajj pilgrims, and 30 million they are targeting every year now. So they are going to raise their capacity, they raise their infrastructure for that. And a majority of kingdom's population is below the age of 30, so it's a totally young nation, but the country is not so huge like India. But still the maximum population is under 30, so that's a very positive thing. And education is going to be a key component of the next generation reforms, because all these people, they would need education. So astonishing transformation they are doing here, and they are investing heavily in these universities and these labs and in school infrastructure and educational higher education infrastructure. And they are targeting that among the top 200 universities of the world, 5 universities should be there from Saudi Arabia. So that's a huge target. And you see, we have similar targets, but we are not able to achieve them. So we need to see how they are going to make it possible, whether they make it or not. But certainly their project, their investment, they look real, because they have been doing it for the last 1 decade, and this is going on. And major reforms are done on the gender front also. They have allowed the women drivers, and women literacy has gone dramatically up. So these are important reforms, and entire Arabian region is having this positive influence of these Saudi Arabian reforms. Although controversies are there, but certainly many things have been a big change since MBS, this Mohammed bin Salman came, and he has been doing all these reforms and kingdom's contribution towards the regional peace, and these efforts are also appreciable. Historic peace accord signed between Ethiopia and Eritrea. You see, Ethiopia is here as a landlocked country and Eritrea is here. So Saudi Arabia played a major role in a settlement between these two countries. But on the Yemenis front, a lot of controversy is going on, and now US has also passed a law that they are going to stop their support in this Yemen crisis within 30 days. So it is going to be a big change for Saudi Arabia. So now Saudi Arabia is taking many steps internationally. They are visiting these countries like India, Pakistan, Indonesia, Malaysia, China and all. So they are focusing on East, they are focusing on West. And the Pope Francis visit, that also happened in this month of February, on 5th 6th of February. And 2 days visit is fixed for today in Pakistan. So Pakistan is also inviting these people. So all things are going on, all are international efforts to raise the bilateral relationships and the international image of Saudi Arabia and the cooperative image of Saudi Arabia that they want to establish. And you see, our ties are cultural, historical. These are 5, 6, 7,000, 8,000 years old. So there is no question about that we have a great linkage. And nearly 3 million Indians from the largest expatriate community in this kingdom is working there. So 3 million people, 30 lakh people, it's a huge number. It's a huge percentage of their total population. So they are working there. So Saudi Arabia, UAE, these countries, they are targeting a very good relationship with India, because a huge number of these people, and these are from India, they have settled in kingdom and the country of UAE. So they are finding a big opportunity there, and a big support there. Political support is always needed. And we have a bilateral trade of $27 billion, and that is also going to rise. And they are targeting areas like information and communication technology, healthcare, defense, education, infrastructure, and especially they are investing in India in organic and food processing industries, because they need them a lot. They are a desert nation, so they don't have much capacity to grow foods and all, so they are going to be dependent on it. So they are investing here in these industries. Apart from that, a big petrochemical complex is about to come in Ratnagiri, Maharashtra, and it is going to be $44 billion investment, and it is done by Saudi Aramco company and Abu Dhabi's National Oil Company. And apart from that, India's PSUs like IOCL, BPCL, HPCL, so they all are going to invest here, and they are going to start this big concern. And you see, India's refinery industry is really huge, and we cannot produce much crude oil, but we are great in this particular area, where production based on these crude oil products, petroleum products, we have enormous capacity. We are exporting many items here. It's a major export share for our nation. So that's why they are investing in this refinery industry of us. And because Saudi Arabia is an oil dependent nation, means oil exporting nation. So global downstream strategy is going on. What is this downstream and upstream? You see, in this bio process, because the crude oil and all these are conventional fuels, these are fossil fuels, so obviously these are organic compounds. So based on biology, so bioprocessing is the important thing here. And in this bioprocessing there are two processes, upstream and downstream. In the upstream, when we grow these bacteria and all these organic products in labs, and maybe we are giving huge inputs to make the production here, so that input is particularly upstream process. And when the products are created, these are produced, then these are not of desired quality, so we need to purify them, we need to refine them. And in the refinery industry, this is the downstream processing of getting the desired purified products. So it's a downstream processing, and regarding that the strategy is going on, and it is focusing a lot in this downstream strategy because they have crude oil. So downstream processing is very crucial for Saudi Arabia like country. So they are investing hugely in India in this sector. And Modi ji met Mr. MBS Mohammed bin Salman on the lines of G20 summit, and they discussed our bilateral relationship, and they promised each other to raise this particular relation. So it's a better tomorrow, certainly, if we move positively and we both move towards each other. So it's going to be a huge opportunity and a huge point full of prosperity and promise. So nothing can be said as a negative between these two countries and about this particular opportunity, because they have investment capacity and we have a vision, we have expertise, and we have a lot of things that can help Saudi Arabia in becoming a next generation nation and the most advanced nation of this world, as they are trying to create it. So it's a combined strength for both the nations that can work enormously in a positive way. Next, we are going to talk about this terrible Thursday when this Pulwama attack happened, and we talk about the most favored nation. You see, in the WTO, World Trade Organization, there is a agreement on the GATT, General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. From this GATT only, WTO was established. The Uruguay rounds where they went from 1986 to 1993, and 1994, and after 8 years of Uruguay rounds of discussion, the WTO was established. So still the GATT remains. So General Agreement of Tariffs and Trade, and in the first clause it is talking about the fair trade policy and the equal treatment of all the nations with all other nations. And you see, when this most favored nation tag is given to a country by a particular country, suppose India is giving it to Pakistan, as India gave to Pakistan in 1996, but Pakistan did not reciprocate. Pakistan did not give us the same status till date. Till today, Pakistan has not given us the status, but we have given it. Now see, when India gives Pakistan the status, then India need to extend this particular favor to other nations also. So it is actually based on the equal treatment concept. Although it's a word of most favored nation, but it is the main idea of equal treatment, that this country should not be treated less than the other countries. So that's the main idea, and it's a bizarre concept. If you go by the word, if you go by the line sentences, then certainly it's hard to understand this, but certainly it is based on the equal treatment concept. Most favored nation means one country extended to some other country, then it has to extend to other nations also. So the principle of equality is maintained here. Okay, so it is related to WTO and GATT, and Pakistan has not given us, this is important, and we have taken this most favored nation tag back. But there is a one very crucial thing here. We have taken the status back from Pakistan, but we have not altered these tariffs and duties. And when we are not changing them, when we are not raising tariffs and duties on Pakistani products, then taking this particular status back is of no use. There is no change practically. It is only a symbolic thing. if we don't raise these duties and tariffs. Because if we are going to raise these tariffs and duties, then the Pakistani products, they are going to become very expensive, and it is going to be a big hit economically on Pakistan. But we are not doing that. That means we are only putting these informations in media that we are doing something, we have done something really huge, but this is not a huge deal till we don't raise these tariffs. So this taking back of most favored nation status should be coupled with the raising of duties. If we are not doing that, then it's of no use. There is no meaning to give this status or take back this status. So this is talking about that. And now many questions remain, and we need to analyze this situation thoroughly, because it is high time, when it's the biggest attack on security forces till now in the J&K state, and nothing can be bigger than that. It is far bigger than the Uri attack, and right now around 50 lives they are lost, around 50 lives. This is according to some information. And now the news regarding the Trump's declaration of emergency on the southern border, and he is so keen to raise this wall that he demanded billions of dollars for that, but he was only given a particular share of that, and now he does not want to get into this confrontation. So he is actually sweeping the ground. He is declaring the emergency so that there is no need of further shutdown of the economy. And by this declaration, he is going to get the access for these funds, and he is saying that it's a national crisis, it's a security crisis, and it's a clear invasion from the southern border, that criminals and drug peddlers, they are entering the country of America, and illegal immigrants, they are haunting the future of the America. So I am going to do this at any cost, and anyhow I am going to raise this wall. So he has declared emergency, but it's a very, very controversial move in the history of America. No president has taken steps like Trump administration. So that's how it's a major concern for America and for the international scenario also. And it is going to have many, many impacts. And America's steps, America's working is under immense evaluation and under immense focus, and whole world is watching these steps, and how this country, democratic country, is doing all these things. That's of real concern. Now about the Vande Bharat Express, which is going to run between Delhi till Varanasi, and it is only going to be 8 hours. And I have explained this issue in the Hindu editorial last month, and in the PIB video also when it was announced. Now they have started the service, and it is going to be 8 hours only between Delhi to Varanasi. It's a huge distance, but because of 160 km/h speed, it is only going to be 8 hours. And all modern facilities, Wi-Fi onboard hotspot system, GPS system, and pantry services, bio-vacuum toilets, dual mode lighting, and this is all going to be very much a luxurious train. So it is demanding a lot of support from the India's citizens also. The way they changed the face of the Gatiman Express, and they took out all the LEDs, lightings and all, and they destroyed the bogies. So in the same way, if they are doing it with the Vande Bharat Express also, then certainly it is totally unwanted, and it is totally shameful for a country like India, which is aspiring to become developed. And these steps are really commendable from the government, and they are taking these positive steps, but the cooperation is needed, and the follow-up of all these schemes and the securities of these trains is really a big concern. Last you see the previous trains, they were created in a conventional way, and their manufacturing is really robust, so there are less concerns of these manipulations. But now they are actually based on these modern facilities, LEDs, Wi-Fi systems. These are very sensitive things, and that is the reason that we need to take concern of all these issues. So it is the Vande Bharat Express between Delhi and Varanasi. And now the election commissioner, in article 324, it is talking about the election commission of India, and the chief election commissioners, one chief election commissioner, as Sunil Arora is right now, and 2 additional election commissioners can be there. So only one election commissioner, who is Ashok Lavasa now, and he is a retired IRS officer of 1980 batch, IRS officer, Revenue Service, Ashok Lavasa. So it's important in this election time when Lok Sabha elections are due. So all these steps becomes very important from the exam point of view. So he is election commissioner only, not chief election commissioner. CEC is Sunil Arora. That's important. And now I'm giving you a mains practice question, and MCQs I would give you tomorrow, and try to write this answer. It's a very important answer, and all of your understanding, all of your out of the box thinking and in-box thinking, they are all going to be applied here, and you can write a important essay or maybe a short question here. It is going to be 500 words, so that's sufficient for you. Now in the map question, I'm giving you, list out all the wetlands of India. Talk about Manipur's Loktak Lake, talk about Rajasthan's Kevladev Abhyaranya, about the Kanjli wetland, about the Jammu Kashmir's wetlands, about the Kerala's wetlands, and all lakes in the state of Karnataka, and Odisha's lakes and all. So you need to point out all of these areas on maps, and read about them on Wikipedia, read about them in Google, read about them in their respective websites, and read about them on the government's websites, on the Ministry of Environment's websites, because these particular wetlands are very important. Read about the Ramsar Convention, and from where it started. Read about the Montreal Accord, where some ecological changes are very fast with some wetlands, and only 2 particular lakes, one is Loktak Lake and one in this Kevladev Abhyaranya, they both are under. So it is the list of wetlands only, but some specific wetlands. So 2 are under this Montreal's record, not accord, it is a record, Montreal's record. So read about that also. So these are the map questions for you today, and these are going to be very, very crucial from the environmental topic of UPSC. And you see, every year there are more than 20 to 25 questions from the environmental section. So these maps and these environmental topics are very, very important. So PDF you will get on this Telegram channel and the Facebook group of mine. You can send me a request, I would approve. And thanks a lot. Keep watching. It was Amit Sani.